Where should you invest your money in 2018? That's the question we're asking all week here on Inside AB, and today we are talking UAE stocks. I'm Jeremy Lawrence, and I'm here with Shayan Shakeel. Okay, Shay, we're talking about equities here. 2017, we had Emaar Development and Adnoc with their well-publicized IPOs.
Right.
How much room is there left for some more big IPOs this year?
Well, the big story is that oil prices are up, and this is a region quite dependent on oil. Now, Issam Kasabieh, who is the research analyst at Minacorp, says the GCC markets are all expected to benefit from rising oil prices. But because the UAE got there first and started diversifying its sectors, it only stands to gain from more strength now. So obviously, with higher oil prices, that'll fuel government spending, which in turn fuels consumer spending, which means there's more money in the market, and it fuels sector activity. So it all helps equities here. But of course, the UAE stands to rise to the top.
Okay. And of course, in Saudi, they've issued pay rises to state employees to counter VAT, so that's more money in the system as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. So if we had to pick, which companies are going to benefit most from this resurgence?
Well, with oil prices, you have to look at the companies that are actually listed that do sell oil. And obviously, the company that we mentioned earlier was Adnoc. Now, Adnoc raised $3.1 billion in its IPO that came out on December 13, 2017. And so as oil prices continue to rise, it's going to be able to get more revenues and then find a way to push those revenues into just diversifying its distribution systems. So a lot more growth to be expected from a company like Adnoc. On the other side, because there's more money in the system, there's going to be increased levels of consumer spending. Now, Emaar Developments came out with its IPO in November, and it raised about $4.8 billion. The Dubai Mall is about set to complete its expansion. There should be an increase in real estate prices in the run-up to Expo 2020. The race to the finish begins this year. And there is obviously a growing number of tourists into Dubai, so more footfall in the Emirates. So it looks well for Emaar as well. Even overall, stocks should look to perform better, given the nature of the environment, the economic environment.
Okay, so there's the good news about oil. But of course, that's rising prices for some businesses. So do you want to talk about some of the big industries, of course, aviation, and how they're going to fare with these demands?
Well, aviation doesn't usually look forward to the rise of oil prices in terms of just fuel costs. I mean, obviously, it spurs the regional economy. But fuel costs tend to account for sometimes 33% of an airline's expenditure.
How far ahead do they hedge on their oil?
They usually hedge sometimes months at a time, but you usually turn out to calculate a yearly average of what the hedging price was.
Right.
Yeah.
But whichever way you look at it, they're going to pay more next year.
Yeah, they're going to pay a lot more this year, and that should stand to affect Air Arabia. Air Arabia hedged its oil price at about $51 a barrel last year, when oil was below 50. Now oil is a bit higher, so it stands to benefit from that, but it's only hedged about 36% of its fuel. So overall, there might be some pressures on Air Arabia, but then again, it's filling its aircraft better. It's got some expansion plans in order, so there's some positivity to look forward to.
Okay. We're talking UAE stocks, but of course the big daddy of them all this year is the proposed Saudi Aramco IPO. So that's spurring a lot of interest in the market in general. How's that going to work for the region in general here?
Well, a $2 trillion IPO is looming on the horizon, and so that's what's got everybody excited. Adnoc came onto the market in hopes of cashing in some of that euphoria around Aramco, and it did manage to make quite a bit of money. The only problem with the Saudi Aramco IPO is that nobody knows when it's going to happen. We expect, and we've been told it's going to happen in the second half of this year, but the plan with Saudi Aramco is to dual list it. So they still have to decide whether to dual list on the New York Stock Exchange or in London or anywhere else. So until they decide to do that, we just won't know when they come on to Tadawul, which is the Saudi Stock Exchange.
Okay. So overall, though, what kind of a year are we looking at for investors looking to put their money into this region?
Well, because of, there's a lot of excitement around equities right now. So some companies are looking to IPO this year as well. Now, Enoc is thinking of putting its own retail arm up for an IPO this year. The Zoom shops you see at the gas stations and stuff, those all come under Enoc. Right. So it's hoping to benefit from some of that.
Right. Okay. So are you confident about the year ahead for investors looking at these stocks?
Why? I mean, it doesn't hurt to put some of your money into stocks, even if it's just a little bit.
Okay, okay. Right, you've been watching Inside AB. We've been talking UAE stocks. Tomorrow we are back with more ways to invest your money in 2018. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and join us every day at 10 a.m. Thanks, bye.